Okay guys, if you care about this, if you want to make a lot of these, and you're in business to make a lot of these Andrew Jacksons here, I know it would typically be Benjamin Franklin, but I only have 20s because I guess I'm fucking poor. But if you want to make a lot of money, it would be wise for you to pick an industry where a lot of people are making a lot of money. Does that make sense? If you own a boat cleaning company in Florida, you're gonna make a lot more money than if you owned a boat cleaning company in Ohio. Why? Because more people have fucking boats. More people need their boats cleaned. So you get a small percentage of that market, and it goes way further than it would in fucking bumblefuck Ohio, okay? So this video is about going where the money is. Go where the money is. Very simple, but you need to understand this if you want to get rich. If you want to make 10, 50, 100K a month online without having to struggle as much, without having to go through all of this bullshit and deal with low ticket clients and not be able to get results and constantly be on a hamster wheel and feel like you're just spinning your fucking wheels trying to make this thing all work, and you see little idiots in Miami and you're like, how the fuck is that kid in a Lambo? This is the differentiator. Understanding this, understanding where the money is, where the attention is, what the process is gonna be like, and then how to scale in this business model. That is what's gonna make you a lot of money. I've made over $2 million in the last 2 years doing exactly this, and I'm gonna show you how I did it in this video, okay? So, it is no secret that everybody is selling coaching. Everybody is selling courses. Go on social media right now. You're gonna scroll through TikTok, you're gonna scroll through Instagram, and you're gonna see somebody who's talking about, oh, I made money in Airbnb. Oh, this is how I lost all of my weight. Oh, this is how I got over this heartbreak. They're making educational content so they can sell you a course. And maybe you're one of those people in the comments right now who's like, ooh, courses are evil. Fuck you. Fuck off. Go watch Hamza, okay? This is for the people that see that as an opportunity and want to make money in it. Because obviously if everybody is making content about how to solve some niche problem and then they're selling a course doing so, there's a lot of fucking money in there. And because of that, that creates an opportunity for people like you and people like me to go in, help them make more money, and then you get a piece of that very, very large pie. The online education industry is projected to be a $280 billion industry by 2029. You know how big of a pie that is? That's a really big fucking pie. So if you get a little crumb, if you just get a little minuscule, tiny fucking microscopic crumb, you're a millionaire, okay? So let's go over here. I have this beautiful picture is designed to show you how all of the eyeballs, all of the attention are on creators. This is the personal brand right here. This is the guy who's like, oh, I'm making all this money drop shipping. Here's how I do it. Click the link in the bio, buy the course. You need to be this person's right-hand guy because that is how you make a lot of money. You're not ready to be the person who's in front of the camera, who's selling the course yourself, but you can scale to 100K a month with one client. I have a student who recently did that, which is fucking insane. But he's making over 6 figures a month just because he's somebody who's making a lot of money. He's the right-hand guy. He's running all of the operations, okay? So we have the main personal brand here. He's making all of the content, and then he has a team of people who are helping him make money through the eyeballs that he's getting in that content. And my student is his right-hand guy. He's managing all of the operations. He's running all of the marketing. He's building the sales team. He's managing the sales team. And because of that, he has a large percentage of what that business makes, and he's making over 100K a month with just one fucking client. You can't do that in almost any other industry. And if you're somebody who's skilled right now, who is running a similar type of agency, or maybe you're a closer, maybe you're a setter, you're in sales, and you're like, okay, I get how the info product space works. I get how the coaching space works. I'm skilled, I'm competent, I know what I'm doing, I'm willing to work hard, but I just feel like I'm not being rewarded for my efforts. This is what you fucking need to do. This is your transition out of sales. This is your transition out of being stuck at 10K a month as a copywriter. Once you do this, you get leverage and a whole world of opportunity opens up to you. So now that we understand, a lot of people in the creator economy are making a lot of fucking money, and your job is to partner up with them and help them make more money so you can get a small piece of the pie and make a lot of fucking money. Let's talk about how that process works. This is the blueprint. And I guess it is blue, so it literally is a blueprint. But this is the path, these are the phases that you're going to follow in starting this business, building this business, or really any business. So first, we have the pre-trenches. That is where you're watching videos on YouTube, you're reading books, you're not really implementing anything, you're just kind of following along, like getting a gist of how the online money space works. You don't really understand half of it, but you have a notepad, you're writing shit down, you're learning a lot Are you actively learning? No, but it's just like kind of psychologically helping you understand that people online are making a lot of money and it's a real legitimate thing. If you don't get bored in the pre-trenches phase, you enter a beautiful, beautiful phase called the trenches. It's a horrible place to be for a short period of time, but it is foundational to your progress. It's like when you're a pledge in a fraternity. It's gonna be 3 months where it just fucking blows dick. It sucks. You're like, why am I even doing this? I'm paying for friends. Am I retarded? Why would I do this? But then you get through that and you're like, oh, that was pretty cool. I'm glad I did that. That made me into a better person. I know that I can go through hard times and make it out on the other side. And on the other side, it's beautiful. And on the other side, now I get to bully all the little pledges, okay? In online business, the trenches are when you're grinding outreach. It's when you're sending a bunch of pitches every single day and maybe you'll get a prospect on the phone and he'll ghost you after the first call and you thought you closed him and it's just a bunch of ups and downs and it kind of really fucking sucks. But if you get through that, if you go through the trenches, you don't quit beforehand and you just get 1 or 2 really, really solid clients, you enter the training camp phase. This is awesome because this is when you start getting paid to learn. You get a client, you get a couple clients, and you start scaling with them. You start trying shit out and trying to help them make more money. And maybe you're writing emails for them, maybe you're running ads, you're managing their sales team, you're doing anything and everything, and you're probably still a little bit underpaid for the amount of work that you're doing, but at least you're getting paid now. And at least you're learning, at least you're in the game. You've got your feet on the turf, you're off the sideline, you're out there, you're throwing Hail Marys, you're completing a few of them, and shit's really starting to move. And that is foundational because that is what is equipping you with the necessary skills and competency and knowledge that you're gonna need to be able to actually scale any type of business. Whether it's an info product agency like I've built or something completely different, you can't skip the training camp phase. And once you make it through the training camp phase, you get everything that you always wanted. You get the money, you get the cars, you get the financial freedom, and you can live wherever you want and you can do whatever you want with your time. This is what I call the Lambos and champagne phase. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, but you can't skip any steps. And along this journey, moving through each phase, there are a bunch of dead bodies that stack up. Most of them stay here forever. Some of them will get to the trenches and then they die here and then, you know, they find a different business model and then they just keep doing that and that and that and they just stay in the pre-trenches and the trenches forever because once it gets hard, they quit or they go to a different business model because they're just too incompetent to understand that every business model is gonna have its own challenges. But less bodies as you go up the mountain. And once you get to the training camp phase, that's when you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're like, okay, I'm making 5, 10, 20K a month. I know I can really scale this thing. Things are starting to get easier. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I can get to 50K a month. I can get to 100K a month. And then once you reach there, then you have leverage. Then you enter Lambos and champagne. So let's talk more specifics. If you want to work with people who are in the creator economy, who are offering coaching and courses and making a lot of fucking money doing it, what are you actually doing? What services are you offering them? How are you gonna go about getting clients and scaling with them and potentially ending up in a position where you have a single client who pays you $50,000 a month or $100,000 a month? How do you get first client? How do you even start there? You get a $3,000 retainer. Well, it's simple, but first you have to understand how their business works. And over here, this is the whole info product playbook right here. If you understand this, you understand info, okay? So basically, you got the personal brand who's making content, who's getting a lot of attention. Attention is the name of the game. Attention is currency. That can be through organic content or it can be through paid ads. All of that traffic, all of that attention is going to go to a landing page, typically where you'd have a VSL. I don't know if you can read that there, but it says VSL, which is a video sales letter. That's going to be selling the prospect, selling the attention that they're getting on the coaching program. And so as I'm going through this, I want you to be cognizant of where all of the moving pieces are and where all of the parts in this funnel, in this ecosystem are that they could potentially need help in. So I told you they're gonna have a video sales letter. That's something that you could offer to write for them. That's something that they're gonna need help with because if they're just starting in the info product space, odds are they're an expert in something else. Maybe they're an expert in wholesale real estate, but they don't know how to write a fucking VSL. You come in, you know how to write a VSL, and you get paid. It's really simple. So once people watch the video sales letter, the goal there is to get them to book a call. As you can see here, it says call. But not everybody who watches the VSL is gonna go and book a call directly right away. So they're gonna need to see more content. They're gonna need to get emails that are encouraging them to come back, book a call. They're telling more stories. They're building more trust with the personal brand. So that person does end up coming back and book a call. And over here, I have dialers. So if you're in the info product space, you understand that a lot of the time, if you put your contact info into somebody's form, they might have a sales team that's gonna call you as well. More money being collected there. And then finally, when somebody books a call, what happens next? Well, the next goal is to get them to actually show up for the call. So more shit has to be done. More money is there to be made for somebody like you to help people improve their show up rate, because more showed calls means more closes, which means more cash collected. So to get somebody to show up to the call, they're gonna need to get another email sequence. Maybe the sales team is gonna text them personally. Maybe they're gonna get videos and content before that actual call that's encouraging them to show up, because it's showing them, wow, look how amazing this program is. Look at this person who's getting results. Here's why this person who is in your position ended up being successful, because they showed up to this exact call that you have scheduled. And if you don't show up, you're gonna be destined to a lifetime of poverty. Poverty. You're gonna put fucking fries in the bag for a living. If you don't show up to this goddamn call, so you better show up to the call, okay? So somebody is getting paid to do all of this. And then once they show up to the call, there's a closer who hops on that call who gets 10% commission likely, and they collect the cash. And that's how this works. Do you see how many fall off points there are? Do you see how many places there are that you can help somebody who is a coach, who is selling coaching? Like even just up here in the content, you can help with their scripting. You can help with angles and hooks and video ideation. Like there's money there. There's money in the VSL. There's money in the nurture, in the email, in the content, in the dialers, and building the sales team. And then once somebody books a call, there's money in making all of the emails after that. And again, the sales team needs to be dialed. Like the opportunities are absolutely all over the place here. So if I were just starting out trying to get my first client, I would probably go for something that's like lower barrier that I can learn pretty quickly. Maybe I'd write somebody a VSL, or I'd write emails for them and show them like, hey, this converts better. Or, hey, I booked a call and I noticed that you didn't send me any emails before the call. I wrote you a sequence. Here, you can use it. Here's 3 emails, send them before the call, and it'll improve your show up rate. Or, hey, I noticed you didn't have a video sales letter. Let me script one for you. I'll do it completely free. Just pay me if it converts better than what you're doing now. Or on the content side, you could script 3 short form videos and tell them to record them and see how they perform, and if they work, then you can talk about working together long term. That's how you get your first client. You get your foot in the door by offering them one service, and then once you earn their trust, you can take over this whole fucking ecosystem here. You can start to run their VSLs, write their emails, build their sales team, manage everything on the back end, and then that's where you end up in a situation where you can get 10, 15, 20% of their total profit and make even 6 figures in a single month with one client, like I was telling you earlier. That is the entire blueprint. And if you're watching this right now and you've had some experience in the online space, and maybe you've gone through the pre-trenches and the trenches phases, and you feel like you're kind of stuck in this training camp phase where like you're still putting in way more effort than you're being rewarded for, it's probably just because you're not doing this. You're not going where the money is. You're not finding yourself in the right opportunity vehicle. I see it all the time with people who join my coaching program. If they had a different business in the past, maybe they're in sales, or maybe they were in software or something similar, but not completely like this, when they get into my coaching, they get results so fucking quickly because they already kind of have their wits about them. They already understand how to navigate this space. Then it's just a matter of sending consistent outreach, getting a client or 2, and scaling with them. Like I've had people join my coaching who came from a sales background, and month 1 they'll make 10K, or 3 months in they'll be making 30K a month. Like it happens really quickly if you've already gone through this kind of sweat equity phase that you have to go through. You just find a more efficient vehicle and then you take off. And the same thing can go for a complete beginner, but you just have to understand that you're gonna go through this phase. And this phase is gonna suck. It might take a month, it might take 3 months, it might take 6 months, it might take a year. Nobody really knows how long the pre-trenches and the trenches phase are gonna last for you. But if you get through that, you enter the training camp, and eventually you can find that opportunity where you just have that exponential growth and you're making 50K a month. Eventually you get rewarded. It takes time. But this is the opportunity where all of the money is. Everybody's selling info. You can sit, you can complain, you can be like, man, I wish I was a guru. I wish I could sell courses, but that person's only rich because they're selling courses. Maybe. But you're in the business of making money, so why would you fucking complain and be an idiot? Are you a child? It's like you're a fat 12-year-old kid on the playground, and instead of becoming the fastest kid on the playground so you can get the girl you want, you just remain fat. And you get pissed off at the kids who are in shape and really fast, and they get all the girls, and your fat ass is just sitting there with a bag of Doritos, and you're like, oh, well, they're evil. Like, shut the fuck up. Make money. Do you want to be fat? So anyway, this whole process that I just showed you is exactly what I did to hit 6-figure months inside of my business. I'd get a client who was selling info, I'd help them scale, we'd make more money, rinse and repeat. And once you get one really big case study, it gets a lot easier. Clients start coming to you, you have more leverage, you can charge more. But I originally started in the SMMA space where I was working with local basketball trainers running lead gen Facebook ads for them. And about a year and a half into that business, I was making like 15 to 20K a month at my peak, but all of my clients were churning after a couple months. Like, it was a fucking disaster, honestly. And I was charging $1,000 a month. So if I wanted to make 20K a month, I had to close 20 clients, which is a lot fucking harder than closing one client and getting them to a point where you're making 20K a month with them because you're making them more money. So eventually I reached this point where I was like, okay, I have all of these skills. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I know how to write copy. I know how to write VSL. I know how to run ads. Like, why don't I just apply this in a different industry and not try to work with broke basketball trainers? That's probably not the smartest move. So I did. And a few months later, I had a single client pay me $18,000 in 1 month. And I remember that feeling, thinking like, wow, I just put a few hours a day into working with this client, and in 1 month, he paid me as much money as I was making when I was working with 20 clients. That's when kind of the light bulbs went off in my head, and I was like, the reason I am making more money now than I was when I was working with basketball trainers is because I am in a better vehicle. I didn't learn that many more skills. I was already skilled. I already knew how to write copy. I just took that skill and applied it in a different vertical. I went and got a few clients, and I made a fuck ton of money doing it. And then I just repeated that process. I got more clients, I got them really good results, and I started to scale. And then in September 2023, I hit my first 6-figure month with my agency. I had just 7 clients at the time. I had 1 team member. So it's like very high fucking margins, right? Like, what other business model can you build where you make $100,000 in a month and you have 1 team member? There's just so much leverage. And the leverage is here because it's where the money is. All of the people are doing this. Everybody's a content creator. Everyone's on social media talking about how to make money, and they're selling a course that is teaching people how to do whatever business model they did, and they're making multi 6 figures, if not 7 figures a month doing so. You would be a fucking idiot to completely ignore this opportunity or think that you're gonna have an easier time building a business in a completely different vertical. Yes, you can. Again, I will never be somebody who tells you that one business model is infinitely better than the other. But right now there is an opportunity that if you capitalize on, it is a lot fucking easier to scale in this industry that's hot. It's a hot, growing market. Again, gonna be worth $280 billion before 2030. You wanna make a lot of these, you wanna make a lot of fucking money, it would be smart to follow the fucking money. All right, I hope I've been clear and this has been a super valuable video for you. Obviously, I do have my own coaching program where I'll teach you hands-on how to do exactly this, and the results that I have students getting in there are absolutely fucking insane. I have 2 students who are making 6-figure months. I've got probably a dozen who are making 20 to 30K a month. I've got beginners who are getting in there, learning a ton, getting their first client. If you wanna take this shit seriously, if you want to go fast, coaching is the way to go. Coaching will expedite your learning curve. And I know you're like, oh, Ben, you just gave me all this value and now you're selling me. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, if I never invested in coaching programs, I would not be here. I would not be standing here. I would not have a $50,000 watch on my wrist. I would not be in my Miami high-rise apartment. I would not have my dream car, a Porsche 911 Turbo. If I never invested in myself, if I never got help, if I never got coaching, I would be a poor, fat little 12-year-old on the fucking playground. But I'm not. Anyway, love you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share this with your grandma, and go to the description if you want to get rich. Peace.